I want to talk about how important it is to love yourself. I read in this book, Positive Thinking, How to Think Positive by Justin Albert. He said, there's this quote in the book. He says, notice if you don't like someone, you can walk away. If you don't like yourself too bad, you have to carry yourself around with you wherever you go. Really, what loving self is, or what it means to me, is just having a good relationship with self. So we all know that we have this thing called self-talk. We all talk to ourselves. We all judge ourselves. If anything, we judge ourselves the most. We think other people judge us, but we judge ourselves the most. So I've really taken the time to actually think about what it really means to love self. And I think what it means to actually love self is just having a good relationship with self. So how do you speak to yourself? Do you speak kindly to yourself, or do you speak hatred and negativity to yourself? That's really what it boils down to. Because when you love yourself, it means that for years or for months or for decades, you've developed a good relationship with yourself. You've always been kind to yourself. You've always listened to yourself, or tried to improve on yourself, or you've accepted yourself. And in accepting yourself, it means that, okay, listen, I know my strengths, I know my weaknesses, and my weaknesses are this, right? I accept myself for that, but I'm not going to just accept that and be like, oh, that's what's going to be, right? It means that I'm going to actually take the time to work on myself, to improve on those weaknesses that I have, right? So loving self again is about having a good relationship with self, and over time you've developed a good relationship with yourself by talking kindly to yourself. For years you've spoken positively. You've said to yourself, I'm good enough, I'm capable enough, I can do this. You've said all those nice things to yourself, even in times where you are stressed, in times where it's rough and you think you can't even do it, but you keep on saying to yourself, I can do this, right? And over time, you've done this for a long time, and you've developed a good relationship with yourself. And that in turn has made you love yourself even better. But on the other hand, if you don't love yourself, it means that you don't speak kindly to yourself. For years, you've been taught to just hate yourself. What you see on TV tells you hate yourself. What your parents taught you, said, or instilled in you hatred for yourself. What your class teacher taught you or said to you, or what someone said to you, might have made you hate yourself, right? Might have made you say to yourself, oh, maybe I'm not good enough. Maybe I'm not as handsome as I think, or maybe I'm not good enough to attract that beautiful girl. Maybe I'm not good enough to even build a good physique. Maybe I'm not that guy. I'm not that guy. I'm not that guy to share my own opinions. I'm not that guy to say what I think or to have an opinion about something. And maybe I'm not that guy. Maybe I should just shut the fuck up and just be the guy that just takes shit from people, right? And for years you've done that, and you've developed a low self-esteem, and that's what it really boils down to. I think I teach what I teach here, or what I try to communicate to people, is codes to better self-esteem. Codes to better self-esteem. I talk about fitness, I talk about dating, sometimes I talk about self-improvement. I think self-improvement is has a lot to do with having a better self-esteem, having better confidence as well. And what self-improvement does here is, if you have the mindset of improving, you can take the time to, oh, what is it that I'm not good enough at, and I can improve on that. And that in turn would, even as you improve on that, you start feeling better about yourself. And as you start feeling better about yourself, you start thinking positively about yourself. And as you start thinking positively about yourself, you start liking yourself, right? Because now you say to you, oh, I did this. Oh, okay, cool. This is nice. It feels nice. I like what I did. I like what's going on. And if you do this over and over and over again, you realize that you start treating yourself better. You start doing things that would essentially make you love yourself better, right? You start improving, because you know that if you improve, you would feel better about yourself. You would feel better about everything that's going on around you. You will love yourself. You will love yourself even more, because you're actually working towards improving yourself. you would love who you're becoming, right? But if you're not improving at all, if you're just laid back and whatever, you realize that or maybe you say you do something and you don't do it. This is where hate comes in, because you said something and you didn't do it. You start hating yourself. But if you say, "Oh, I'm gonna do this. This is gonna help me become even better," and you do it, you're gonna realize, "Oh shit, that felt good." Okay, you say you're gonna go to the gym and you did that. That feels good. You keep on working yourself. Start building discipline. Start building that consistency, the determination. You start working on your strengths. You realize that you just feel better about yourself. And I think the gym actually helps with loving self better. It just intensifies it, because the gym is a place for therapy, self therapy, because you're not only working on your body, but you're also working on your mind. And I think the mind is the most powerful thing in the world. The mind is all, the universe is mental. If you have your mind right, you can shake the reality of your life. And I think this to be true. If your mind is right, and that's why you have to love yourself, because if you love yourself, if you like what you see in the mirror, right, you can be at peace with yourself. And if you it's only when you're at peace with yourself, it's only when you trust yourself that you can shake or shape the reality of your life. Because if the mind is not right, if the mind is not centered or in a good place, you can't make good decisions. You can't discern. You can't. Your intuition will be bad. Everything, things will not be working because the mind is not right. And the mind again is that thing that is that self talk. If you're not having that good self talk, right? If you're not feeling good about yourself, the mind you can't channel the mind where it needs to go. So as you improve, and as you have a better as you have a better relationship with self, you start feeling better about yourself. And that's the way you can essentially love self. Self-talk is what would essentially determine if or whether or not you're building that self-love, right? Because a lot of people think negative about themselves. A lot of people think, "Oh, I'm not good enough. I don't deserve this." And they've done this for years, for many years. And I can speak from experience, because a lot of people, they didn't teach us this thing in schools. They didn't teach us how to love ourselves, right? They didn't teach us anything about self-affirmation, self-talk, self-love, nothing. Our parents didn't teach us. Maybe some parents who had that knowledge, right, give that knowledge to their kids. But bear in mind, they don't teach us anything about self in school. Nothing. They just teach us how to essentially be slaves, right? But how to work the system. That's what I mean. So they just teach you what you need to work the system, but they don't teach you how to have a good relationship with self. If you don't like someone, you can walk away. Literally, you can just walk away from that person, right? But if you don't like yourself, just imagine waking up every morning and you don't like yourself. Man, that feels so bad. That's terrible. And that's why some people get into drugs. That's why some people start drinking alcohol. That's why some people just when they wake up in the morning, they just don't like anything about themselves. So they just do stupid things. They just do things that like we just make them feel something, because they don't love themselves. They don't. That's why people are bitter to people. That's why people think negative about people and do want to hurt someone. If you love yourself, you don't want to hurt anyone. Genuinely, unless someone wants to try to hurt you, fucking hurt them too. So if you love yourself, man, you just love everything about yourself. And the thing about loving self is that you know how to love self. So you're kind to other people. And if people don't treat you that way, you just automatically expect people to treat you kindly as well. And if they don't, man, you can toss them away, because that's not the energy you're on. You're on self-love. When I talk about loving self or just love, all this type of stuff, I don't mean being foolish and being silly. When someone treats you wrong or treats you bad, and you treat them kindly, because it's all about love. No, someone love like treats you kindly, you treat them kindly times 10. Someone messes with you roughly or in a hateful way, you hate them times 10, right? That's what it means to love yourself too as well. And again, loving self is about having a good, I'll say this again, loving self is about having a good relationship with self. So if you don't love someone, you can walk away. If you don't like yourself too bad, you have to carry yourself around with you wherever you go. And that's really not a nice feeling to have, right? So I think Like I was saying, they don't teach any of these things in school. They don't teach any of these things. Most of our parents don't even have the information to give to us on how think, think, to love self. And I think loving self is really pretty much boils down to the relationship you have with yourself. What kind of self talk do you have? Do you have the one that's positive? Have you built a positive relationship with yourself or a negative one? And if you built a positive one with yourself, that means you're running on a cycle of of positivity. You've created a pattern within your mind that would keep you in that state of loving self, right? If you've created a pattern of just speaking negative to yourself, you don't even know, you just hate yourself. You don't know why, but the reason why that is because for years, for decades, you have always thought of this. You've always had a bad relationship with self. You've always had bad self talk with yourself. You never developed or spoke kindly to yourself, right? That's because of sometimes people just hate themselves because no one taught them how to love self. The society teaches you to even hate yourself. The what you see on TV makes you hate yourself, right? And nothing we're not really taught how to love self. And I believe loving self is accepting self and knowing that you you can be better, right? And I think having a good relationship with yourself is improving yourself and working towards becoming better. Because as you improve and improve and improve and you try, you do the inner work, someone says something bad to you, but it stings. And you just ask yourself, listen, why that sting so much? Right? And just go down deep there and just like what why that sting so much? Okay, cool. I'll work on that. I know why it stings so much, and I'll work on that. And just you see, and if you do the inner work, you'll be so proud of yourself. Like, ah, shit, nice. You're building good relationship with yourself. And I think when you love yourself, you have a better relationship with yourself. You accept yourself. You align with yourself. Your intuition is better. Your instincts, that's the same thing. It's better. Your discernment is better. You make better decisions. You speak kind to yourself and to others. You are at peace with yourself. Peace. You're never negative to yourself, and you expect other people to just be kind to you as well because you're loving to them, so they should be loving to you. Again, if you need to hit the gym, go at it. Right now I'm working out, as you can see, having self therapy every day, every other day, just trying to get to it, man. So let's tap in. Gotta love self better, because if you love self, look into the mirror, body is nice, you're oozing with confidence, you have better self-esteem, you're gonna feel good, man. You're gonna feel good. You're gonna feel good. Loving self is a feeling, man. It's a good feeling. If you love self, we're gonna be great. Peace, man.